In this video, you're going to continue file manipulation in the command line crash course. So this time, you're going to check a few commands which will help you read files. So the cat command will help you read a certain file. The vim command can do that as well. They are a bit different. They both come with different features. So let's try the cat command first. So at the moment, we are inside JS. So let's read script.js. All right. You can add some options to cat. So for example, the n option will output the line numbers. So you can see the line numbers there. Now you can do the same thing with vim. And if you press I, then you can edit the file, add new characters, remove characters, etc. And you can navigate using the arrow buttons. So for example, I can add a new line like this. And to save, I'm gonna press escape and then colon W for write and then Q to quit. All right, so that's regarding cat and vim. So you can explore these two commands using the manual, and you can check the different features that they both have. There is another command you can use which is unique, and this one will just print unique lines without any duplicates. So instead of printing this line twice, it is printed only once because we are using the unique command. All right, so the next one, you can print only the first n lines of a certain files or the last n lines of a certain file using the head and tail commands. So let's try head and tail on our script.js file. So first, let's add some more content to our file. So let's display the first 4 lines of our script.js file. And here we go. And now let's display the last 5 lines. And here you go. So the reason why we see this is because there is no line return there. So let's try again. And that looks better. There is another syntax. You can, so instead of -5, you can write -n and then space the number you want. Okay, so now let's move to the next example. Now it gets introduced to the piping concept. So the piping concept is when you use the output of a certain command as the input of another command. So here we are trying to print row 3 of our file server.js or app.js. So first we're going to print the first 3 lines. And then out of those 3 lines, we're going to print the last line. So head -3 prints the first 3 lines of our file. And then tail -1 will print the last line of those 3 lines. And that will give us the row 3. So let's try this. So head -3 of script.js, and then the pipe symbol is this one. This is a vertical line. So this is supposed to be next to your enter button on the right hand side of your keyboard if you're using a Mac. If you're using a Windows machine, then this is supposed to be on the left hand side, right next to your enter button. So now the output of this command is going to be used as the input of the next command, which is tail -1. And now we're going to be printing line number 3. And here we go. That's line number 3. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Now you can actually print lines of your bash history. So the history contains the different commands which you have run on your terminal. So if you want the last 3 lines, then you just type history, which outputs all the lines. So you don't want to show all the lines which are stored in the memory of your computer, but you want to show only a few ones. So in this example, we're going to show the last 20 lines. So history, and then the pipe, symbol, vertical line, and then the last 20 lines, tail -20. And this gives me the different commands that I have run so far. So these are the last 20 commands in my terminal history. All right, so the next one. So let's look for lines including the word hello inside our file app.js or server.js. So to do this, we use the grep command. So the grep command is a very useful command which will help you search files. So let's try it on our script.js file. So let's look for hello inside our file script.js. Now you don't need to use quotes. It works fine without quotes. So here we go. So these are all the lines which contain hello inside our file script.js. Now you can add some options to your command. So you can make the command case insensitive using -i. You can display lines using -n, display line numbers. You can highlight matching words using the color option with double -sign. And you can also look for lines excluding a certain word using -v. So let's try these. So now if I try to look for hello inside our file, like this, then it's not going to return that line because hello there is written with capital letters. But if I try the same thing with -i, then the search is going to be case insensitive and it's going to show that line as well. So the next one is when you add the an command, the an option, like that, or like that. You can combine them like this. So this will print the line numbers. Now you can also add the color option and you'll see the matching words highlighted. And finally, if you want to look for lines which do not contain the word hello, then you use -v. And here you can get all the lines which do not include the word hello. Perfect. So now let's move to the next one. Now let's look for the first 2 lines including the word hello inside our file app.js or server or scripts.js. So to do this, use the option -m. So let's use our previous command and use -m 2. So this time we get only the first 2 lines. And there is another way for that. You can actually print your file and then use the output of that file as the input of your grep command. So basically, you can do this with all grep commands. So the way it works is as following. So cat of scripts.js, and then the outputs can be used as the inputs of grep -m2 of hello. All right. So now let's move to the next one. Now, when using the grep command, you can actually search inside multiple files. So for example, you can search all files ending .js using a regular expression like this. So star stands for any text, then .js means that you're looking for files with a name text.anytext.js. So this will look for all lines containing hello inside those files. So let's try that. So at the moment we've got a couple of files inside our JS folder, right? So let's copy some content from script to server.js. And now let's search all files ending .js. And you can see that the lines now, they contain the names of our files. So inside scripts.js, we found all those lines. And then inside server.js, we found all those lines. So that's how you can search multiple lines for a specific, or multiple files for a specific word. All right, so next one. Now let's look for lines including a certain pattern inside a file. So instead of looking for hello, you can look for a certain pattern like this one. So that's H followed by any text followed by O. So let's try something like that. So grep, for example, J or G, then star I. Inside script.js. All right, and let's add a line here saying golf I, and let's add another one saying GitHub. So you can see that all these lines are a match. So this one is a match because it contains G followed by some text, and then I. The same for all those three. And then GitHub is a match because that's G followed by some text. So that's empty, and then I. And this one is not actually a match because I is capital. So if I try the same command with -i to make this search insensitive, then we should see that line as well. All right. So let's move to the next example. Now we want to look for a certain word recursively inside files located in a certain folder. So to do this, you use the R option. All right. So let's go to our node folder. So at the moment, we are inside the JS folder. So let's move up one directory. So now we are inside node. And now we're going to look recursively for the word hello. So this will search everything inside the node folder. All right. So let's add a couple of lines here saying hello. And let's test this. So grep -r, the word hello, and then we are looking inside this location. So that's how you use this command. That's the syntax for it. So now it's going to search everything inside the node folder. And now you can see the results. So we've got inside the JS folder, we've got this file, and that's the corresponding line. And then we've got that line inside that file, inside that folder, and so on. So it looked for all hello words inside all files located inside node and its subfolders. All right, so let's check something else. Now let's look for hello recursively inside files located inside our folder node, and instead of returning the lines, we want to return only file names. So to do this, we just add the L command. So instead of -r, you can write -r -l, or combine them like this, -rl. So this will tell us all the files where we found a match. Great. Next one, let's look for lines containing two words. So we want both hello and console inside a certain file. So you can use piping for that. Basically, you look for the first word, you get all lines containing that word, and then you check those lines and see which ones contain that word as well. All right. So let's try that. So let's try that on server.js, and let's add a line with hello only and another one with console only. So we are inside node. Let's move to JS. So we are inside JS now, and we're looking at server.js. So first, let's look for the word hello inside server.js. And then we're going to use piping to use the outputs of this command as the inputs of the next command, which will look for console like this. Okay. So let's try this. So these are the lines which contain both hello and console inside our file. So you don't see that one because it contains only hello, and you don't see that line because it contains only console. All right, so let's move to the next one. Now we're looking for lines containing either hello or hi. So hello or hi, or both. All right, both will work as well. So to do this, you can use the egrep command, and we will continue this in the next video.